You're watching WFOR-TV 4, South Florida.
From the Channel 6 Satellite News Center, this is the 10 o'clock news. With comprehensive South Florida reports, plus news via satellite from across the nation and around the world.
Good evening, I'm Nick Bogert. There are a couple of developments in tonight's news that may help bring about an end to the hostage situation in Tehran.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our special halftime show.
Barbara Sloan, Jim Dyer, Mike Bradley's weather, John Tootsman's sports, and the Ralph Reddick Report. This is the 10 o'clock news. Barbara Sloan, Jim Dyer, Mike Bradley's weather, Ed Berliner's sports, and the Ralph Reddick Report. This is the 10 o'clock news.
An agreement signed today could bring hundreds of Cubans waiting in third countries to the U.S. That tops the 10 o'clock news.
Barbara Sloan, Jim Dyer, Ed Berliner's sports, Mike Bradley's weather. This is Channel 6 News.
Miami Heat plays ball. That tops Channel 6 News.
Barbara Sloan, Jim Dyer, R.J. Himes weather, John Dutzman sports. This is Channel 6 News.
Parents of U.S. Marines are holding their breath tonight, anxiously awaiting word about an air disaster. That tops Channel 6 News.
You're going to be watching a lot more 6. Now, Barbara Sloan and Giselle Fernandez. Channel 6 Action News.
Just seconds away. We're earning our reputation one story at a time. Now, Barbara Sloan and Giselle Fernandez. Channel 6 Action News.
Hello again. Barbara and Giselle are off tonight. I'm J.D. Roberts. Here's what's happening.
You're going to be watching a lot more 6. Now, Barbara Sloan and J.D. Roberts. Channel 6 Action News.
Outside the headquarters of China's Communist Party and a government paralyzed despite martial law. Good evening. Tonight, China's army is refusing to confront the masses.
You're going to be watching a lot more 6. Now, Channel 6 Action News with Barbara Sloan and J.D. Roberts. We're earning our reputation one story at a time. Now, Channel 6 Action News.
Murder at a Broward rest home. It sounds like something out of an Agatha Christie novel.
but it really happened today in plain sight of it.
We're earning our reputation one story at a time. Now, Channel 6 Action News.
Murder at a Broward rest home. It sounds like something out of an act.
We're earning our reputation one story at a time. Now, Barbara Sloan and J.D. Roberts, Channel 6 Action News.
Their success on the field leveled more turmoil off. A Miami Dolphin sacked by an accusation of rape.
Good evening. Just 3 days ago, he was on top of the world with his Miami Dolphin teammates. Linebacker David Fry shared in a victory streak and hope for the playoffs.
We're earning our reputation one story at a time. Now, John Hambrick and Giselle Fernandez, Channel 6 Action News.
The UN Security Council has passed its 9th resolution condemning Iraq. Late today, it added an air embargo to the blockades already in place. This on the same day Saddam Hussein's message to the American people was delivered to the media. Good evening. I'm Giselle Fernandez.
And I'm John Hambrick. Saddam's videotaped message was 76 minutes long, a response to President Bush's 8-minute tape talk to the Iraqi people.
Now, 6 Action News, taking action for you.
As the day nears for the changing of the guard in Haiti, exiled President Aristide talks to reporters right here in South Florida. Once again, teens do some illegal shopping. Another smash-and-grab robbery. And a grim prediction over what the closing of the South Florida State Hospital will mean to our area. Our top stories first at 4 on 6 Action News. I'm Diana Morgan.
And I'm Bob Soper.
Now, 6 Action News, taking action to bring you a more balanced view of South Florida.
This is 6 Action News at 11. Good evening. I'm Barbara Sloan.
And I'm Stan Miller. Tonight, the city of Sweetwater should be called Streetwater.
Now, 6 Action News, taking action to bring you a more balanced view of South Florida.
Fact meets fiction in a brand new movie that's stirring strong emotions about the Oklahoma bombing. Why did a dog get a standing ovation? You'll meet South Florida's latest hero and a new improved form of liposuction right here in South Florida. Some of our stories right now on 6 Action News. Good evening, I'm Stan Miller.
And I'm Barbara Sloan. 118 dead, and that number is rising in the bombed-out ruins of the Oklahoma City Federal Building. But tonight, this...
Now, 6 Action News, taking action to bring you a more balanced view of South Florida.
This is 6 Action News at 5:30. I'm Ileana Varela. Well, they are eye-catching, they are controversial.
Now, 6 Action News, taking action to bring you a more balanced view of South Florida.
Good evening, everyone. This is 6 Action News at 11. I'm Barbara Sloan.
And I'm Cambrell Marshall. Judge Lance Ito may rule over the O.J. Simpson trial, but tonight he's answering to an even higher authority.
This is News 4 this morning.
And a very good morning to you. It's 6 o'clock in the morning right now, Wednesday, April the 16th. 74 degrees on the outside, going up to 78. I'm Dave Stanley.
And I'm Jennifer Gould. And so...
Live from WFOR TV, this is News 4 South Florida.
Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Anita Smith in for Cambrell Marshall.
Live from WFOR TV, this is News 4 South Florida.
Good afternoon. I'm Brian Norcross.
And I'm Ileana Varela. Some clever cooks are dialing for your dollar, scamming South Floridians out of thousands.
Live from WFOR TV, this is News 4 South Florida.
Fallout from a botched bank robbery, a brazen shootout turns a quiet Los Angeles area neighborhood into a combat zone, and News 4 has the dramatic pictures. Good evening, everyone. I'm Cambrell Marshall. Ann Roberts has the evening off. When the shootout was over, 2 suspects were dead and at least 6 police officers were wounded, and nearly all of it was caught on camera. News 4 anchor Ileana Varela has the top story now from the Satellite Center. Ileana?
Cambrell, before we go to the Pictures Award.
Live from WFOR TV. This is News 4 South Florida.
Good evening, I'm Jennifer Gould.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News at noon.
Lawyers head into federal court prepared to battle over the recount. While
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News first at 5.
South Florida wakes up to the coldest temperatures so far this season.
We were down in the mid-40s this morning, which is a big chill by South Florida standards.
You're watching CBS 4 News with Angela Ray, Steve Wolford, meteorologist Brian Norcross, and Jim Berry Sports. Now, live, this is CBS 4 News at 5:30.
First at 5:30, a trail of truckers line Biscayne Boulevard, causing a lot straight ahead.
You're watching CBS 4 News with Jennifer Gould, Elliot Rodriguez, and meteorologist Dave Rexroth.
4 News at 6, right here, right now.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News at 6.
First at 6, flames burning at the Everglades, causing enough smoke to prompt officials to issue a health alert. That fire was brought under control just a few minutes ago.
This line of fire has charred thousands of acres just north of the Broward County line, west of US 27.
Good evening, South Florida. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
I'm Steve Wolford. CBS 4 News tonight, right here, right now.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News at 11.
A gruesome discovery by a young boy fishing in a South Florida canal.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News this morning.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Jason Wheeler.
And I'm Susan Barnett. Here's a look at what's making news this
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News at noon.
President Bush gives Saddam Hussein 48 hours to get out of Iraq, but today the Iraqi leader says he's not going anywhere. The Iraqi dictator has rejected the president's ultimatum, putting America on the brink of war.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
And I'm Elliot Rodriguez. CBS 4 News at 5 starts right now.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News first at 5.
The search for answers is just beginning tonight after a plane takes a deadly plunge off the Bahamas. Investigators still have no idea why that plane crashed at sea, killing 2 people, including a toddler.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News at 5:30.
First at 5:30 tonight, Hurricane Francis still strengthening and now moving faster through the Atlantic.
Some residents are now taking precautions, getting ready for the Category 4 storm. All of South Florida is watching and waiting to see where Hurricane Francis...
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News at 6:30.
And first tonight at 6:30, live pictures as Mother Nature unleashes heavy downpours, making for a soggy Sunday across South Florida.
And she is not done just yet. Those green blobs you see on CBS 4's real-time weather, well, that's just how nasty it is outside right now.
That's right. The rain's been coming down in spurts all day across South Florida.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News at 6.
First at 6 tonight, dreary, damp, and cool. It is one lousy combination for our South Florida weather.
Here's a live picture right now. This is in Miami near 79th Street as drivers try to navigate through the soaked streets on their way home from work. It's been a chilly and wet Wednesday all across South Florida.
But there is some good news finally tonight in the forecast. Bob Soper is in weather control with details. Bob?
Now, live, this is a special edition of CBS 4 News, America at War. Now, live, this is CBS 4 News this morning.
Can I say it again?
Do it.
5 a.m., which is not the good part, but
Right.
the Friday part is the good part.
It is. He's at warp speed. I am reading like this.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
I'm Rob Hanrahan. CBS 4 News at 5 starts right now.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News first at 5.
Straight off the top at 5, we've got big weather news. First, running from the rain as storms soak South Florida once again.
This is a live look over the Miami-Dade Broward County line showing that the bad weather just will not let up. But stay tight, the rainbow is in sight.
And
thank you for joining us. I'm Shannon Horing.
I'm Rob Hanrahan, and for Elliot Rodriguez. CBS 4 News at 5 starts right now.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
It's not the kind of thing you'd expect to snarl traffic on a Friday evening. A small plane that went down right next to I-95.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News at 5:30.
Now, residents are forced out in the middle of the night after flames ripped through a condo. It's amazing. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Tonight, the damage and questions after this fiery wake-up call.
You saw this story breaking right here first on CBS 4. Tonight, a candle is being blamed for the entire thing.
But
now, live, this is CBS 4 News at 6.
Drenching downpours make for some slick roads across South Florida today as the work week begins the same way the weekend ended, all wet.
Now live, this is CBS 4 News at 11.
Right now at 11.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News. From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
Well, it's 5 a.m. on Friday, November 21st. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jim Berry.
And I'm Cynthia Demas.
That was Lisette Gonzalez in the background.
She's woohooing because she loves Fridays. And
from Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
We begin with breaking news right now at 5. Just minutes ago, a nearly 5-hour search for a missing Alzheimer's patient and her grandchild came to an end.
You're watching CBS 4 News at 5 with Shannon Horing, Antonio Mora, Chief Meteorologist David Bernard, Hurricane expert Brian Norcross, and Jim Berry with sports.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
Good evening. I'm Ileana Borella. CBS 4 News at 6 starts right now.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
First at 6, students at the University of Miami are keeping their eyes peeled as they head out this weekend. Someone jogging near the UM campus was robbed at knife point last night.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
It's not.
You're watching CBS 4 News at 11 with Shannon Horing, Antonio Mora, Chief Meteorologist David Bernard, and Kim Vocamper with sports.
Now at 11, fierce flame.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News at 11.
First at 11, a sight we don't often see in South Florida. People bundled up in their sweaters and jackets, and one person even opting for a scarf. And tonight, it came in very handy. Our temperatures dropped 20 degrees in one day.
Fast. Winter is officially back, but for how long? CBS 4 meteorologist David Bernard is here with the details. David?
Now, of course, something we don't often see in South Florida is for winter to stick around for, say, maybe more than a day or two. So hopefully that'll be the case this time as well. Look at the temperature.
Next on CBS 4 News at 6:30, a 14-year-old girl killed in a car crash with a BSO deputy. Her friends remember her tonight as we dig up what could have caused the accident.
Then a memorial on wheels, lots of wheels. More than 1,000 cyclists ride in honor of a man killed in a hit-and-run crash. We'll have the latest in a CBS 4 I-Team investigation.
And Sam's Club cuts, why thousands of job cuts could mean more free samples for you. Good evening. I'm Shannon Horing.
And I'm Antonio Mora. The CBS 4 News at 6:30, now in high definition, starts right now.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
We begin tonight with the death of that 14-year-old girl killed in a crash with a Broward Sheriff's deputy.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys. This is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
And a good Monday morning to you. It is right before 5 a.m. on this Monday, August 15th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Juwan Strick.
And I'm Natalia Zaya. Maribel Rodriguez is off today.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
First at noon, the hunt is on to find this man. Police say he sexually assaulted a young boy at a Metro rail station. Now, this is a story that is breaking right now.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
The one regret I'll have as I leave this game and leave this locker room for the last time is that I didn't win the championship. They'll get it fixed. They're going to win. Unfortunately, I won't be here to do it with them.
Miami Dolphins linebacker Jason Taylor gets emotional as he says goodbye to the Miami Dolphins and his career as an NFL player. Taylor finished with arguably one of the best playing careers in Dolphins history.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is CBS 4 This Morning.
It is 5 a.m. Good morning to all of you. It is Monday, of course. Hopefully you had a nice weekend, October 28th. I'm Marianne Alley.
And I'm Summer Knowles. Happy Monday to you. We've got
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
First at noon, deadly discovery. A car fire turns into a crime scene after the remains of at least one person are found inside a burned-out car. Firefighters responded at 3 in the morning to a car fire in Hialeah. After they put it out, they discovered the remains.
This is CBS 4 News at noon.
First at noon, tied up and terrorized. Home invaders target a family in Hallandale Beach. All 3 people in the home were victimized. Police are still searching for the thieves who got away with money and an iPhone. CBS 4's Silva Harapetian reports from Hallandale Beach with what the victim's son told her. Right now, we are tracking the tropics, a strong tropical disturbance to our southeast that
This is CBS 4 News at 6.
First at 6, a presidential news conference takes a controversial turn. On the day he hoped to get back to his agenda, President Donald Trump reignited debate over the terror attack and violence in Charlottesville, Virginia.
You had a group on one side that was bad, and you had a group on the other side that was also very violent. And nobody wants to say that, but I'll say it right now. You had a group on the other side that came charging in without a permit, and they were very, very violent.
In a press conference where he was set to talk about infrastructure, the president ended up forcefully defending his response to the unrest in Charlottesville, Virginia over the weekend. Here's
This is CBS 4 News Tonight. Nicholas Cruz. After the massacre.
What does the voice say to you? What does it tell you to do?
Burn, kill, destroy.
Okay, burn, kill, destroy what?
Anything.
Tonight, the interrogation of the confessed Parkland school shooter.
It is very difficult to watch, and today the state attorney's office released most of the 12 hours of that interrogation video.
In it, Cruz sobs and speaks with his brother, and when left alone, he slaps and punches himself. CBS 4's Hank Tester is live at the jail in Fort Lauderdale, where Cruz is being held. Hank.
Well, that interrogation.
This is CBS 4 News at 7.
Now at 7, we begin with a health alert, and there are growing concerns about the flu one day after we learned a 12-year-old in South Florida suddenly died. We're still waiting for an official cause of death, but his family says they suspect this was the flu.
Miami-Dade and Broward schools are taking those concerns very seriously, as you can imagine, and they are addressing worries over the virus.
This is CBS, WCIX Channel 6. Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
You're watching WFOR-TV for South Florida.
Wake up with CBS 4 News this morning. Weekday mornings starting at 4:30.